Hello, everyone. Spirit of 420 here because everything I do is so 420. Tonight, I've got a very 420 situation. I'm running a little bit behind on my coffee, so I don't even have it. Look at it. It's an empty cup. So, was that dust? No way that was dust. This thing was just clean. But anyway, tonight's guest was supposed to be both the host as well as Hitman from Roll with That podcast. But Hitman had something else to do, which is understandable. So we're not going to sweat it. We're going to keep going. And we do have the host with us. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him on in here. The host, can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly well, man. How are you doing this fine Saturday evening?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I am doing my same old thing and getting high while talking to these folks. I love doing it. I know. I was just talking to my wife, though. It's funny. But holy moly, that one got me. If I were living where I used to live, which was Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, well, not Virginia, but I definitely dwelled there. So Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee, those 5 states, I would not be doing this. Even if I, which I think there's some legalities in those states now, and there's certain things illegal, I still wouldn't be doing it. It's not like doing it living out in Colorado. Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely, man. You don't have to worry about the shit.
Right. Like, dude, I can even do shrooms here. I don't know if you've kept up with it, but 2019, at least Denver, I can go to Denver, which is where I just was this past week on Wednesday when I was enjoying my magic mushrooms because I went to the 25th anniversary South Park fucking whatever thing. And yeah, man, like magic mushrooms are decriminalized in Denver. They'll eventually probably be legal in the whole state.
Damn, that's cool shit. So what was the South Park thing? Was it like, you mean off of the cartoon kind of park? Or
Yeah. Like
South Park?
No. Like so South Park, the cartoon, celebrated their 25th anniversary, and they had what was a pretty big, it was a 2-day festival essentially at Red Rock. I'm sure you've heard of Red Rock Amphitheater, right?
Yeah, I've been there for sure.
Yep. So they had a 2-day celebration with both Ween and Primus.
Oh, that's cool shit.
You would like to have, you would want to believe that it is, but Monday, let's see, today is, Monday I will be talking about that.
That's cool. Hell yeah.
I won't bore you with all the details. I'll just say this much. I'm disappointed in more the promoters in the venue than I am necessarily in the artist. I mean, I've been loving these guys for years, and I kind of know who they are. I've seen them in the smallest, both of these guys. I've seen Primus and Ween, seen in the smallest of places back in the day, back in Athens, Georgia. And, like I say, I know these guys. I know them well. Even hung out with one of them. And also know Matt and Trey very well in the sense of listened to a lot of what they had to say, and I've watched their cartoon for years. I think if they actually knew what went on and how it was done, I think they would probably have a little bit of a problem too. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, damn. Sounds like
well, I mean,
downer.
It was, dude. Let me just say, I'll make it very quick on this, and then we'll get to something else, really, because I don't want to talk about this shit. That's not why I had you on the show. But in a nutshell, if you have a capacity of, let's say, 20,000 people, 20,000 seat venue that's by the seat, and you do GA, you still don't do more than 20,000. That way, everybody that is there gets a seat, right? But they overbooked this place, what feels like at least an easy 2-1. There was no place to sit and watch the show. That's fucked up, dude. When you're at Red Rock Amphitheater and you cannot get a fucking seat. So you tell me. That, to me, I shouldn't have to go like 3 hours early to an event just to make sure I have a good seat. Are you there? Because I'm not hearing anything. I think we may have lost the host. So, the host, can you hear me? Are you there? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Something happened there though. We lost you for a little bit.
Yeah, it's like cut out there.
No worries, but we got you now. So yeah, as I was saying, man, if you have, and I don't know how many seats the place can hold, but if you have an amphitheater that's made to hold 20,000, then you shouldn't sell more than 20,000 tickets. Right? There was no place to sit. And if you've been to Red Rocks, to say that there was no place to sit at Red Rock where I could see the show is unbelievably ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I've been there. I hear what you're saying. I mean, everybody should have a damn seat.
Right. Like, dude, I paid the same as anybody else in that place. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter. So roll with that. How long you guys been around? I tried to look up some of the things, but didn't have time. How long you guys been at it?
Probably about 6 months now.
And what do you guys do? Like do you have a schedule as far as like seasonal?
Yeah, well, we tried doing it weekly is what we tried doing. And if we don't get to it weekly, we just make sure we have one out every 2 weeks.
Got you. Hold on.
That's pretty much how we do it.
My throat is shot from the last few days, so apparently I'm going to have one of those coughing episodes, and I'm trying my best to make sure I don't do it into your ear or any of the folks out there. My goodness. So, by the way, I did get the website. That's correct. That has the links to all your different outlets, but you guys are on all the popular ones, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much on everything.
Yeah, that's what I saw. So it's you, Hitman, and who's the third guy?
So we got Mochiv and Dude.
Oh, so there's four of you. I thought there was.
Yeah.
Okay. Are all four of you always present, or is it at least like maybe as long as there's three of you kind of thing, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it ends up going. There usually is at least, there's always been at least three of us, but that's pretty much how it goes. Usually all four of us show up, and then we'll have our buddy Pat comes on every once in a while too, when he can make it every once in a while. And just basically we get on there, man. We blaze a little bit and we just shoot the shit, man, on whatever's going on.
So what went on this week? Hit me up. What was one of the most spectacular things that the host had to deal with this week, other than prepping for a crazy ass motherfucker like me?
Well, we didn't end up doing one this week. So
no,
I
just
really
mean like
with topics or anything.
No, I just mean with you. Like, what was your week?
Oh, that was my week. Shit. Just a lot of work, a lot of overtime this week. That's pretty much why we didn't get into an episode this week. Worked a lot of hours.
So,
and then,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
I was just going to, when you said that, work a lot of hours, you were going to go somewhere. So I want you to please come back to it. But with you having the name the host, I kind of got the feeling that you were the one that started this or kind of organized it. And maybe you're like the one that kind of ultimately runs it. Is that the case, or am I beating up the wrong?
No, you hit it dead on right there. Yeah. So basically how it started off, man, it started off as a paranormal show. I kind of did it by myself, but I don't like doing it by myself. You know what I'm saying? So, and I love smoking weed. So I was just like,
let's go in a different direction.
Well, we do this shit anyway. We all get together, we blaze, and we just talk and we laugh and shit. And I'm like, let's just do that.
I got you. You talk about paranormal. So I have a drone, and I've also been watching the skies my whole life. I mean, like my whole life, right? Like it's just, to me, it's so much abundance of unknown when you look up, right? I'm sure you agree with that when you talk about paranormal. I also believe in ghosts, and I have a couple ghost stories, and I'll share them with you if you'd like. But
nice.
Just last week, or week, maybe it was a week and a half ago. I recently got one of these mini pros so that you can look up with the camera, right? Which is kind of different for a drone because they usually just look down and forward. So I was like, maybe if I go really fucking high and get away from the city lights and the lights of the neighborhood, then I'll get a real good shot of the stars, right? Especially, I figured taking it down, rather than doing it in 4K at 60 frames, which requires so much fucking light, I figured I would take it down to like HD and 24 frames per second, right? So as little light as possible. And dude, I ended up getting, what was funny is, first of all, I got an unknown, whatever the fuck they're called today. I will simply call it what I've always called it. It's an unidentified flying object. It was a UFO. And then I fucking landed, and I was so fucking pissed, host, because literally I landed and then two more fucking shoot by, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? They were brighter than the first one, because the first one I found, it wasn't bright enough for me to see, but the drone was high enough for me to see it and capture it, right? And it's nothing great. But you'll understand this. It is moving way too fast to be a satellite. First of all, the one I caught on the drone was going perpendicular to the other two, right? So the one I caught with the drone was going east to west, but the other two were going north to south. So right there, that just tells you they're not a satellite, right? You don't have satellites that are usually visible running north to south. You agree?
Agree. Yeah.
Yep. So these next two come by, and they are cooking. They're going faster than any plane, and it's just two solid white dots losing no space between each other. And I've seen these things so many times in my life, it's ridiculous. And, you know, people try to cough them off at satellites, but I just told you, like, I was outside. I know what directions I live in. I know exactly where I am based on the fucking, you know, like I said, I'm one of those guys that watch the fucking sun, right? I watch the moon, I watch the sun, the stars. And yeah, dude, it's crazy because I've seen these, but you got to remember too, I'm in Colorado where there is a lot. And I'm not saying that it was a alien manned craft. I'm just saying it was an unidentified flying object, because I do firmly believe that the military and the Air Force, just because, first of all, my family's hugely military. My grandfather was a captain in the Navy. So the only rank that he didn't obtain while he was active was admiral. I don't know how much you know about the military, but he had his own base, right? So I know the military, particularly the Air Force, which actually works in, you know, major cahoots with the Navy, has some serious flying machines that they do not tell us about, right? So very well, it could have been human, man. I'm just saying it was some crazy fucking shit, because these, like, dude, it's just a single dot, right? It's not, planes are very well marked. You have wing markers, you have front and back, you know what I mean? Like, you see all four lights traveling through the air, and you hear them, by the way. That's the other key feature. I don't care how high they are, you hear a jet when it goes overhead. Sometimes the sound is after the jet has gone by, right, if they're really high, but other times it's with it. There was no sound to these, and it's funny because just right after
man,
that,
you know,
go ahead.
Oh, no, it's just crazy that you say that, and it's crazy you say, you know, you don't know if it's military or not, because you know where the San Luis Valley is?
I've heard of it, but please remind me.
I'm sorry, you cut out for a minute.
Oh, no, please remind me. I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is.
Okay, you know where Alamosa is?
Yes.
It's down south, Colorado. So we go down there.
Driving distance.
Yeah, so we go down there often. So me, Hitman, and our buddy Cosmo, rest in peace. We went down there after we got off work one night, and we got a little bit past Blanca, which is past Fort Garland. And it's about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're driving to our motel in Alamosa. And all of a sudden, my buddy Cosmo in the back's like, what the fuck is that? And fucking we look up, man, and there's this thing that's just sitting up in the sky with these lights kind of just around it and shit just bouncing. And yeah, we have no idea, man. It was either fucking alien or military activity. I don't know, but you saying that, it's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
It's funny because a lot of people haven't seen this type of thing, right? And the one thing I remind most of those people that tell me that, I'm like, how often do you actually look up? Because when you look at the average person, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean, everybody has their life and they're allowed to live their life the way they want to. Some people just don't give a fuck about what's up there, right? But most people don't look up. You don't see them looking up. I don't see people coming out of their house and staring up at night. You know what I mean? The way that I do. And I just don't, what I mean by that is I don't see a lot of it. I know there's other people, but I don't see a lot of it. So therein lies the reality that most people are just not going to see this because they're not looking for it. And it's funny because everybody says, well, you know, how come nobody sees them? I'm like, dude, people are seeing them all the time, whatever the hell they are. Whatever is traveling, there's something that is not a plane. It's not man-made. It somehow makes no fucking noise, moves at greater speeds than Like, I mean, all these things have been documented. Anybody that doesn't buy it anymore is just not bothering to look up long enough to see it, because everywhere, by the way, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Indiana, Virginia, all parts of California, and now Colorado. These are the places I've been in, and I've seen them in all those places. So it's not like, now I will say this, I have seen more in certain places. Funny enough, I saw a shitload when I was living in Tennessee, and I've seen a shitload already living here in Colorado. Why Tennessee? I don't know. I mean, what the hell is there, right? Tennessee?
So, are you close to the mountains at all?
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm staring, like right now, I'm literally staring at Pikes Peak.
Oh, nice. Okay. So do you ever, well, damn, there's a lot of Bigfoot activity around there too.
I would love.
Have you
No, I have not. I have not. I want to. I want to go. So there's certain places that I can. You said, you asked about the drone, right? Where I can fly it, or have I flown it up there?
Yeah, up in the mountains.
You got to be careful. So hold on. I'm in the midst right now of taking my taking the course to be a commercial drone pilot, right? Oh, fuck me. Here comes the cough. And once I get that, like right now, I keep it at the safety of 120 meters with a 2,000 meter range, but the thing can go 4,000 meters. Like that's half of its range on the distance side, and 120 is like just a fraction of what it can go height. I mean, it can go like 2,000 meters or something like that up, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So the only problem though is, I mean, if I'm going 2,000 meters, I'm literally popping into what could be air traffic, particularly around here, right? Especially when you're talking about helicopters and other low-lying type vehicles, emergency vehicles, and that kind of shit. So that's why you have to get a commercial drone pilot's license, and then you can log in. I know it sounds fucked up, but then I literally log in, and part of that commercial drone pilot license is that I'm learning essentially how the same fucking dudes that what are they called? Air traffic controllers, right? I'm essentially learning what they know to a degree, not obviously what they know, because those, I don't know if you know, but those guys have like a high suicide rate and a quick burnout rate because of the stress level of it, right? But I have to essentially be able to, once I get this license, I have to essentially be able to log in and be like, hey, I'm cleared for takeoff, and I'm letting them know that I'm now flying my drone at like, 600 meters in this area around the mountain that is typically off limits for just regular people. But if you have the license, then it's no different than anything else. You have the license, you get the permission. You really just log in and get the permission. No different than if you're a fucking private pilot license, or a private pilot that has a license and wants to go and fly his plane. You're pretty much allowed to do that at any given time that you go out there. You just got to let them know.
How hard is it to get the license?
Oh, it's not that difficult. I'm taking the course now, and the course itself is like, I mean, there's a couple different ones you can take. The one I'm taking is, what is it? Pilot Institute. And I think I paid $150. It's normally $250, and it's probably never normally $250. It's probably always $250 at a $150 drop, right? Or at a $100 drop, just between you and me. But what the guy does, I mean, first of all, he's got great ratings. His shit is, the guy's name is Greg something or other. I can't remember his last name, but he's been around for years. And he guarantees the course to the point that if you, or not if, but when you take the actual certified course from the FAA, like, and go and pay them their money, if you were to fail that course after taking his course, then he refunds not only the cost of the FAA test, but his course. So you get all your money back.
So he's pretty confident.
He's got it's like a 99.2% pass rate. He rarely has anybody fail. And I would imagine those are people that didn't actually take the course and just figured they could go and pass it.
Yeah. Or quit.
Or something. Who knows, but it is fun. The process already has been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So it's something else. I love filming, and the shots that you can get with a fucking drone are just I mean, you know, they're phenomenal, right?
Nice.
What's funny is you watch movies now and you're like, I sit there and I watch a film and I'm like, my God, like 50% of this was filmed with a drone because they have them. Like you know, it's just another piece of the puzzle, if that makes sense. Like the first time that we fucking started putting cameras on wires, right? That just went off and we got all kinds of crazy shots from that shit. Now it's a drone. It's just a whole nother level because you're freeform. It's like a wire shot, but just completely freeform.
Yeah. What are you smoking on?
This right now is some duct tape, about 25% THC from my local, what do you call it, dispensary. Nice. I won't say their name because they haven't been very nice to me lately.
Oh, shit.
Not that that's, I don't mean it like that, but you know. To me, part of what is being a stoner is supporting other stoners as long as they're not like total dickheads, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just what I believe. And those guys, they love to get your support. And I'll stop there because I'm sure you can figure out the rest, right? It's not hard to figure out the flip side to that. So the world is full of givers and the world is full of takers. And then there's some that are gavers or no givers. Take, give, take, give. Tivers. There we go. Tivers. There's tivers. I try to consider myself what was once a taker and now a giver with a little bit of taking. I mean, because you're going to take some, just, you know, the more giving you are, then people are going to give back to you. And it's rude not to take what's given back out of kindness, right? So yeah. You're always going to take some no matter what you're doing. At least I've found that to be true. But you're also going to take a lot of shit too if you're fucking a really positive guy. Like that's just, and I'm getting more and more used to it because to me, it's, I don't know if you've heard me talk about this, but to me, it's like the balance of things, right? If you're exuding a lot of positivity and goodness and all that kind-hearted shit, well, the world, the universe, God, whatever the fuck you choose to call it, karma in general, is going to throw back some negativity to overbalance it. Like it's got to keep the balance, right?
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, I believe that. Well, I believe, you know, the more good you give, you definitely get good back to you receive from it. But also there's evil out there that gets jealous over that goodness, and you got to deal with that too. That's just kind of how I look at it.
Well, dude, I mean, here, let me give you an example. Take any great sports star. Let's just go there for a minute because I know you've seen at least one example of this. But some of these greatest sports stars, and I used to remember watching this when I was a taker and let's just say an evil person or living more on the dark side, if you will. I would always notice that these guys who were doing really well, they were extremely positive and they were always thanking God or thanking, you know, something like that. You know, many times it was religion or some kind of spirituality, right?
Right.
I'm just dabbing. And I don't mean that gay fucking symbol. I find it so funny to watch kids do that. I just informed another mother recently of where that came from. It is so funny how few moms understand what that symbol is and where it came from. It just blows my. You know where it came from, right? Host, do you? I'm asking.
From a video game. I thought
this. You know this, right?
Yeah, I thought it came from a video game.
No, it's because after you hit the dab stick, you pass it back over, and you're coughing into your arm. That's dabbing. That's where it came from. And so when I see a 5-year-old dab for a camera, it's like the first time that I heard my kid at like 3 years old go, "It's 420, Dad." I mean, I just fucking love it. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. I mean, my kid doesn't celebrate 420 at 3 years old, but they knew that 420 was a magical time in Dad's life by the time they were able to tell time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at least at least in a way, they kind of knew it. Like these kids today, they've been dabbing for years. And one of the first ones I remember seeing it, since we're talking about sports stars, and I'll come back to that. I'm not done. Don't worry, I'll come full circle. I just do it slowly sometimes. But Cam Newton, do you know Cam Newton from he used to play for Carolina Panthers back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he was one of the first ones in sports to do that, you know. And I guarantee you, he knew it because he was a fucking pothead. Like anybody that knows Cam, he may never have been caught for it, but he's a pothead. Okay. So earlier, what I was going to say though is you look at those big sports stars that are always thanking the Lord and trying to be really positive. At the same time, they deal with a lot more negative because they're in the spotlight, right? The more you are in the spotlight, like you said, whether it's a jealousy from somebody else about who they are, or if it's just plain old karma, making sure that, look, you have had 15 great things happen to you today. I got to trip you up, brother, and see if you can handle it. And what I mean by that is, I'll tell you this, the more I, believe in the positivity and try to exude that and all that I was saying there, the easier it is to get through a shit moment that used to fucking, maybe ruin as much as a week of my time, now ruins less than usually hours, maybe only minutes, if it even gets that much at all. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's good. Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to know that you're dealing with more of it, but that's because you're putting yourself out there more, and I don't have some huge amount of followers, but I've gotten enough to where I know I'm making a difference. How do I say? And even if it's in the smallest way, I mean, literally people have called me like, dude, your fucking show made my day the other day. I was having the worst fucking day. Or somebody will be like, dude, the fact that you tweeted to me, if I see somebody in a down mood, right, I'll always try to be the first one that sends them a tweet or something like, hey man, it's a passing moment. It's going to be better. You're fucking great. You're awesome. So I know that it's helping, but I also know that means I'm going to get, more shit, period. I've talked about it a few times now because it's, to me, I always talk about what's like kind of, I guess, similar to you guys. You talk about, what you dealt with. To me, it's always what's in the moment. And that has been definitely the moment the last few days. I'll put it that way. Been a lot of negative bullshit that, like this morning, dude, I was fucking down. I was in a piss poor mood.
Yeah. I think a lot of shit's going on in the world right now too, man. I think a lot of people are down right now.
It does seem to be a consensus. You went out there, sorry.
People No, you're good. I was just saying a lot of people are struggling mentally right now,
No, they are. And what's funny is I think that happens when I was saying it's a consensus. And what I mean by that is like, you get kind of a shared emotional state, right? Just because you can't help it. I mean, if everybody's, let's say snapping at each other or in a piss poor mood or whatever, then it's gonna rub off, At least I've noticed that.
Oh, definitely, man.
Particularly if I go out there and I wear like a dildo on my forehead, I really get a lot of strange looks when that happens. But I try to tell them like I'm just emphasizing that I'm a dickhead,
Damn.
And they don't.
Like,
yeah, some people don't get it. Some people do.
That's funny. Yep.
I just try to have fun.
Right? You got a lot of people mad at each other, and you got a lot of these politicians got everybody pissed off at each other.
On both sides. I don't talk politics, but I'll just say it's not one side or the other. Anybody that says it's one side is somebody who's not looking at the whole fucking picture.
Yeah. If you listen to my show, that's exactly what I say right there, man. It's all of them.
Well, my whole thing is that you'll love my way of thinking then, because I have believed this for as long as I can remember, because it's the only thing that makes sense to me. But I always see the balance in things, and I kind of live in the middle. I feel like I have a lot in common with Jerry Seinfeld in that, because he says everything's always evening out for him.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Hold on, I'll get to it, but I'm going to take this dab before it cools off.
Do Do your thing.
But here's a good kick in the ass for anybody who worships anybody, right? If you call anybody a hero, that dude, that chick, that person, that trans, whatever, they're also a villain to somebody else. And the backside of that is anybody that you consider to be a horrible person and a villain in this world, in any regard, politically, fame, I don't care. They're also a hero to another side. So it really doesn't matter what side you're on. You're always pulling for the villain as you're always pulling for the hero. Just depends on how you see things.
Yeah. Everybody sees it differently, man. No doubt. A lot of people just go off of the bullshit that they see or read, you know.
Yeah, they're mockingbirds, you know.
Yeah.
I was called something not too long ago. I was doing a show live, and somebody came in. I thought it was funny because they were trolling me, and they were blasting my comment section right during the show, and they said I was it was something, I think a social justice fighter, social justice, SJF. Does that sound familiar? Anything
Yes.
else? So anyway, long story short, they called me this name, and I didn't even know what it meant at the time. And my wife texted me in the background, so I was like, okay. But I by the time I learned it, I'd already told. I was like, I don't know what that means, but dude, I do my thing because of this, and this. And I was like, go and watch my. Guy ended up apologizing to me. Funny enough,
Did he?
Yeah, he apologized and became a subscriber.
Oh, that's cool.
So
shit.
I will say this, you know, I mean, anybody who bothers to listen to anybody else, communication is the real key to all of it, right? Like, here's what I mean. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or a black or a white. Like, if you just talk and find out what the other side's about, you'll find out usually you have a lot more in common than you realize, number one. And that many times the differences you have are not necessarily means that you're a bad person or that they're a bad person. You just see the world differently.
Yeah, because you come from different backgrounds.
Different fucking, dude, your histories, like your own personal I've been around for 50 fucking years, bro. Like, I've seen a lot. That gives me, it doesn't give me more or better of anything. It simply gives me 50 years of experience, right? But that means 50 years of more, you know, concerts or more, whatever, like, you know, so I've been to a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of shit. I've fucked a lot of people. Men, women, aliens are the only one I haven't gotten to yet. But trust me, I'm trying to get to them too. There's a couple on the bucket list yet. But, you know, I've pretty much done everything except for an alien. And my whole point in all that is that, like, the more you get to know people, the more you find out that there's typically with any two people on the planet, you have more similarities with them than you do opposites, even the one you call your worst fucking enemy. How fucked up is that?
No, it's true, though.
It is.
If you would just sit down and smoke a bowl with your enemy, you'd be good.
I love that scene in Kumar 2, Harold and Kumar 2, when they fucking sit down with Baby Bush.
Yeah.
And fucking smoke, and you're like, that's probably the real deal. This motherfucker is run by his daddy and is just like, I'm a daddy's boy puppet. What the fuck? I fucking can't stand it. Like, that would make the most sense to me. You know, I always kind of go with Occam's razor, if you will. But after watching that movie, I was like, you know, Baby Bush isn't so bad to me. I was like, I mean, because it did remind me, like, this motherfucker did the same drugs that I've been doing my whole life, and he was doing them at the same time I was. He's only a little bit older than me, right? I mean, Daddy Bush is another story. But Papa's not some great big difference. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, cocaine, marijuana, I'm pretty sure he's done hallucinogens. If he didn't claim to do mushrooms, there's no way Baby Bush did those other drugs and didn't fucking eat some shrooms too, man, and some acid to boot, right? I mean, he was an experimenter, and he was also one that was going against everything his daddy stood for the longest time. Like, that was part of, I get it. I mean, I have kids, I watch them. Luckily, I did a lot of drugs, so like one of my kids does that too, but the other one's like, I don't really like anything but marijuana. I'm like, that's the way to go. So I'm gonna fucking stick with that. The other one, though, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's how I am, man. That's all I do too.
Are you? By the way, are you a dad?
Yeah, I am.
And yeah. I meant to ask, how old are you?
43.
43. You sound much younger. And you, well, I mean, I saw you off stage, so you look much younger too. I'll say that. You don't look 43, brother.
I wish I was. Thank you.
Hi, hey man, don't just be happy with it, man. I mean, I'm telling you, like I recently celebrated 50 back in May, and I loved it, man. Like I really did, because everybody's always, you know, a lot of people get really down about their age as they get older, and 50 is like that first one that they really cringe at. It's 50, right? I was like, dude, it's fucking 50. First of all, I didn't think I was going to see 21. Then it was 25. Then it was 35. And then it was 50, right? I didn't think I'd see this fucking age. This is a blessing to me.
Yeah, it's a celebration.
It is. I mean, not only that, but I look at like, dude, and I mean this with all due respect, but some of my favorite people are dying off before 70. So now 70 is that next one. I'm like, let's see if I can make that one, man. Because fuck, I look at all the people lost prior to 70. I mean, you're talking about some really beloved dudes, you know, like Prince, fucking David Bowie. I mean, look at all the ones that just in music. I mean, I'm leaving like so many out that we just have lost recently. But Alan Rickman, I don't know if you know who that is, the actor. Like, there's so many of these dudes that die before 70, and chicks as well. But I'm talking about after, you know, like between 50 and 70, you know.
Yeah, that actress just died at 55. I can't remember her name, but the one that got in the wreck. Yeah,
she ended up dying, didn't she? She
was
wasn't
it Annie something?
Dude, I know you. So you just gave me a heads up, or because the last time I looked, she was still in a coma. So obviously she's passed now, right? But it was the one that was essentially she went through someone's home, right?
Something like that. She wrecked.
Anne Hesh. Anne Hesh drove through someone's home. I think that they did. Shit, dude, I gotta look this shit up.
I know she wrecked. Yeah, maybe they said that she wasn't gonna survive. I know she was in the. I thought they said she died though.
Yeah, I'm looking to see. She's brain dead. She's brain dead after crash. Anne Hesh is dead, man. Men and Tree actress. Yep, she's 53. She's dead. Dies at 53.
Oh, she was 53. Okay.
Still, 53, 55. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
As soon as she did it, you know what I said to my mom? Obviously, it was worse. But the first thing I said to my mom was like, this is so fucking reminiscent of Tiger like a year and a half ago.
Oh, Tiger Woods? Yeah.
Remember when he went, like, clearly he was intoxicated and driving beyond his means of capability with that SUV that he was in.
Oh, he had been fucked up, man.
Right, and she was too, dude. Did you hear about, like, did you read any of it or hear, did you watch any of the reports on it? Because she had been, apparently she had a great day. And I don't know, I mean, I want to read a more updated version and find out, but like the day had been great. So I think she just got lit and was way too lit to be driving home.
Yeah, probably.
Cost her life.
And famous people, man, just have somebody fucking drive for you.
Right, like you are the last person that needs to take that risk. You don't even have to worry about the danger of it. Like, literally call the fucking police directly and be like, this is Anne Hesh. I am too. I mean, like, honestly, dude, what are they going to do?
I'll tell you what I'd do, man. If I was famous, as soon as we got to the club or wherever we went, I'd be handing my keys to somebody and I'd be like, do not give these fuckers back to me until the morning. And when I say morning, I mean like fucking after 10 a.m.
Right, like not morning as if I'm still here at 8, give them to me. That's not morning.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, you got too much to lose, man. If they're just smoking, they'd be all right. It's that liquor.
They got too much to lose and they have too much to prove. I know I put an S where it doesn't belong, but I was trying to be facetious. But truly, right? Like, not only do they have a lot to lose, but when you are anybody And I now understand this because even in the smallest form, if you're anybody in the spotlight, like, and you're known, particularly if you're seen, right? Like you can't be doing things that send the wrong message, especially if you're that famous, right? Like she's not as famous as, say, you know, Cameron Diaz, right? Or fucking, I was trying to think of another big one who did I just fucking see who's pretty fucking big? Oh my God, I can't think of her damn name now. But nonetheless, she's still famous. You know, everybody knows her name. I mean, she fucked Ellen for years. So that, you know, that put her on the charts. Plus, she did that movie 7 Days and 6 Nights, or 6 Nights, 7 Days, whatever the hell it was, with Harrison Ford Mustang. I'm sure you probably remember that when you're not that much younger than me. Remember that summer cheesy romance movie where they got trapped on a fucking island after a plane crash?
I don't remember that shit. Honestly.
Oh my God, it's I think it's called 6 Nights and 7 Days, whatever it is. But it's funny because it came out right after her and Ellen had come out and declared their love and marriage for each other, right? And so then this summer romance movie with her as the big romantic interest for Ford, it just didn't really measure well. Like, okay, you're going to declare that you're gay, and then the next movie that you're in is like a huge, meant to be blockbuster movie. Oh man, they spent a ton on that movie. They wanted it to be one of those, you know, big hits.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it didn't happen. I mean, I think it probably did fairly well. I mean, we are talking about the 90s. So.
Yeah. Well, so Harrison Ford, he's good. You know what his shit's selling.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could literally, you don't even have to worry about who else is in it. If you just say Harrison, and that's, I mean, we're talking like right after Fugitive, right? Guaranteed this was in 3 years of Fugitive. And you remember how fucking big that movie was for you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So within 3 years of that, you put anything out with Harrison Ford and it's going to make you money. It's just whether or not it's any good. Right. In this case, this one was actually, I mean, I'll say this, the bitch was a good actor. And I mean, I don't mean that, I don't say bitch lightly. I mean that with all due respect. That chick can act because I bought that she wanted his cock. Like, I bought it. You know what I mean? Like, I remember watching the movie going, yeah, this is a pretty good little love story. I really think these two have chemistry.
Yeah, you start thinking, maybe she goes both ways.
She does. She left him and had a kid and got married, I'm pretty sure. She was what I referred to. We used to have this term. I don't know if you ever heard of this term, and I'll probably get criticized, but before I say it, just so that it's all in the same clip, I am polypansexual. I have slept with everything from a his that used to be a hers to a hers that used to be a his, and all points in between. But I know a lug when I fucking see one. Lug means lesbian until graduation. And it's just simply put, man, there's a lot of women that like they go lesbian once they hit college due to all this hit with all this, you know, women's power and live. Now this is back in the 90s, so I'm not saying this is true anymore, host. Okay. But she was part of that. Like the moment that she went with him, I even said to my girlfriend at the time, I was like, oh my God, this chick's a lug. As soon as she gets what she wants, it's going to be a different story. And I guarantee you she gets a man. So you can just sometimes see it. It's like they dip their toes in it for a while and they really feel like it's them. But then all of a sudden they're like, they want a kid, you know, there's a different attitude when that little birth. But I know it all sounds probably really bad, but like I say, I mean, I have a wife and a mother. My mom's gay. I'm polypan. And this is just how I feel because I see it. I just call it how I see it. Does that make sense?
Right. No, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, how do I say it? Another way of saying it is there is something to be said for actions behind your words. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I think right now a lot of these kids think that, you know, I don't know, man. They just think they have a choice now instead of either they're really gay or they're not. You know what I'm saying? I
think that you're touching on exactly my point. It started back in the 90s, and I have no problem with any of the shows. But due to the popularity of gay shows like, what was that one? queer guy. You know what I'm talking about? With the dudes would like make somebody and take them and redo their outfit. What was that? Queer eye for the straight guy or something like that.
Who, RuPaul or something?
No, it wasn't RuPaul. It was like these 4 or 5 gay dudes. They had a show where they literally would grab a straight dude and they would redress him so that he would look great to a female, but it was with a flare of gayness because they did it, right? It was literally, I think, queer eye for the straight guy or something like that. Anyway, my point being, this was one of the shows back in the 90s, and there's only been a lot more. And I, again, coming from, the side of the fact that I feel like everybody should have their rights to be who they want to be, regardless. I think a lot of people will go gay or be gay because they think it's cool.
Yeah.
And to me, 100%. That's not go. Yeah, please.
No, and that I 100% agree. I think a lot of these kids want to just fit in, sometimes, or yeah.
It's no different than anything else. Whatever they think. Look, man, when you're impressionable, and take yourself back to those years of being 16 to even all the way up to like 26, right? Like, you're highly impressionable. And that's why I think it happens, because you go with whatever you think you have the best chance at fitting in, that maybe you will feel the best with, morally, right? Like the thing that you feel like you're going least against your morals. Does that make sense to say it like that, right?
No, I feel you. Yeah.
And I mean, it's whatever the fucking case may be. And there's so many different things, but I've watched it now. Again, this comes with, and you're not far behind me, so I know you've seen it, but after 50 years, you start to see cycles of the same fucking shit. It just keeps repeating itself. They talk about glamour and clothes. Dude, that's already repeated itself like 3 times over for me in some regards. But beyond that, I'm talking about people's behavior, right? Like, you see certain things. It's no, how do I say it? It doesn't surprise me at all that a computer has figured out how to get a good profile of somebody based on just a certain amount of information, because I by myself now can get to know somebody and tell a lot. And I'm just a human that has no processing power like a fucking computer. I mean, I do have a brain, and that's more than a computer on one level, I know, but I'm talking about the RAM, right? Excuse me, not the RAM. I'm talking about I am talking about the RAM, the part that runs programs, right?
Right.
Like, I only have so much because I'm human, but I'm pretty spot on. Like, my family fucking hates it. My friends fucking hate it, because I will literally, they'll tell me something and I'm like, you're lying to me right now. And I'm not just talking about being a human lie detector, and knowing all those things. It's even beyond that. They'll say something and I'm like, look, man, I can see that you're going through this, and this is part of what's going on. I just did it to a new friend the other day and felt really bad, because I was like, you clearly have this issue, and this issue, and I want to help you with it. But it's, it's like a sick gift. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I watched Constantine today, and I was like, I have to look at it as a gift, right? But I probably shouldn't come across so strong to some people. Like, right, if you're out, on a couple's date with me on the 3rd time or 4th time, I probably shouldn't tell you that I can see that you don't love yourself. That's probably a no, right? Huh. Like, save that shit for the 5th or 6th date, as an office Christmas party would say.
Huh. Shit, I wouldn't mind that gift. At least some of it's bullshit.
I will tell you this. That's where it comes in hand. I'm a salesman by nature. That's my life. I've always been good at sales since the day I started at 14. Just phenomenal. And it's because I've always had this ability to read people. And if you can read people, then you can manipulate and or persuade. I only say that because I used to manipulate people to buy whatever the fuck I was selling. To me, manipulating is all about you. And now I persuade people to buy the things that I know they truly need. Persuading is about the person, helping that person in front of you, if that makes sense. So, but there's that gift allows you to do whichever one you choose. When I was on the dark side, I was manipulating. It was all about me and the dollar bill. So,
yeah.
What do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking, like in the sense of industry wise, like just generically?
Sell
So you're in sales too?
Yeah, basically.
I tell people, man, the number one profession, nobody believes me, but it is sales. It's always the biggest department of almost any company, right? And every company has one. So.
Yeah. Well, there's it matters.
Yeah, I love sales. I truly do. I couldn't imagine living any other way.
That's cool. Well, you have to give the gab, man. You got to have that,
My biggest thing with sales is you truly have the ability to decide how much money you're going to make versus any other non-degree job. And that's the other big thing is that it was only, when I got into sales, you didn't even have to have a high school fucking degree to get a job in sales. I will say this now for the good sales jobs and why they do it, I don't know, because I truly think they're missing out. And if, when I actually hire, I always hire, I don't care about, I want to see purely your experience. What have you done in sales? That's what I really want to know. Now, if you're brand new to it, then I might consider taking you, but it definitely doesn't matter to me if you went to fucking college, because you don't learn a fucking thing about sales, even if you went to college for sales. I've seen what they teach in college, and it's not what we learn on the sales floor, in the sales room, or wherever the hell you sell.
Yeah.
What did you say you sell again?
Right.
Every time I say it, it fucking cracks out.
Oh yeah, it keeps cracking out. No, I don't actually sell it myself. Like I just work at a place that sells ethanol.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So I don't. So no, but I can see where being in sales would be cool in the fact of you can make more money. You know what I mean? The harder you work, the more motivated you are. The more
you decide, as the old saying goes, in sales, you decide your paycheck.
Yeah, there's more motivation, man, when you can make more money.
It definitely gives you more drive, and it's one of the things that companies started learning. So they put it. It's why, like, most positions that aren't sales is what when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about most positions. They've learned how to do things that allow you to get bonuses, so that you can at least, get like quarterly or semi-annual or annual bonuses based on your performance in your regard. Because it's not the same as measure. Like, it's easy to measure a salesman. How many fucking times did you get someone to sign on the dotted line, and how many times did you pitch to get that? That's, you know what I mean? It's not like, and how long did it take you? Those are the three things you want to know. So those, you can pretty much judge any salesman.
Right. That's cool. Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I'm going to go ahead and cut us down. There's been, not to sound rude, but we're getting, I'm not hearing you as well as I would like to. And I know that's frustrating for you as well as me, but I would like to try it another time sometime. Maybe we can see if we can get, after you show Hitman this, maybe he'll be like, yeah, I can do that, since, you don't actually, and let him know this. I would be more than happy to do a pre-record. And what I mean by that is we record it, we don't do live. And then if there's anything that needs to be taken out, just take it out. No big deal.
Oh yeah. No, man, I'll get him to come on.
Well, I know he had other things to do.
Or the dude will come on.
I know he had other things to do, and I know that it was kind of short notice, because we talked about it once before months ago, but then we just kind of planned it out like fucking week and a half ago, I think. So
yeah,
just let him know that I'm open to whatever feels good.
No, that's cool, man. It was a lot of fun too, man. And I know I'll get them guys to come on, man. We'll definitely do it again.
For sure. Listen, have a good evening. I'm gonna take you off of the screen for a minute and just give my little close, and then if you want to hang out for just a second, you can. But I'll take you out here, and then I'm gonna do a little close, and then end it, and then end the broadcast.
All right, cool, man. Peace out.
Peace out, bro. So we will be doing this again. Sorry if there was a little bit of technical issues. If anybody was having trouble hearing me or hearing the host, I'm going to have to be doing some restarting of my routers, make sure everything's okay. I thought I had done that recently, but knowing my stoner memory, I probably hadn't. But moving on, everybody, nobody, or how do I say it? Excuse me. See how stoned I am already? It's not really stoned so much as just out of my element right now. Most people don't realize just how normal strange is. So if you think you're strange, you're actually pretty fucking normal. Just keep that in mind. The other thing that I was going to say, and that I always say, is everybody knows that opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got them, and everybody else's thinks that everybody stinks. Mine stink like fresh brewed coffee, and medical grade weed. And hopefully they will until the day I leave. With that, everybody have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. I love all of you. All of you. Each of you are special and incredible people. Remember that. It is actually the truth. 6 degrees of separation, butterfly effect. Look at all those. Come back to another time. Peace out. Till the next episode.